and welcome. This is a KWES production. This is District 31 6A football, and it is the Weslaco Panthers. They are the home team at Bobby Lackey Stadium. We are in Weslaco, Texas, and tonight they'll be hosting the Edinburg North Cougars. The Cougars, by the way, this season 2-7 overall, 2-3 in district action. Meanwhile, the Panthers, they are 8-1, 4-1 in the district, and depending on what happens tonight, well, maybe the Panthers will be in a three-way tie as district champs. No matter what happens, they will be going to playoffs, maybe even hosting a game next week against Harlingen. All that coming up. We'll find out later in the night, but right now let's get ready for football action. I'm Scott Harrison. Also, Carlos Robledo will be joining me in a bit, and we are going to get ready to kick things off. Of course, if you're listening on radio, you won't know what the uniforms look like, but it is Weslaco. They are in their purple jerseys with the white helmets, and they have got their white numerals and purple Panther insignia on the helmets. Meanwhile, Edinburg North, their basic colors are navy and gold, although when we look at their uniforms, they'll basically be white and, of course, have navy and gold on them. Michael Salinas, second year as coach with the Panthers. He is 11-7 overall. Damian Gonzalez, he is in his first season. And the Panthers lost the toss, but the Cougars deferred to the second half, so they will be kicking off, and they'll be kicking off toward the south end zone. And Weslaco will receive the ball. That is right in front of the beautiful new scoreboard that was put up this year. By the way, it's all paid by sponsors. And so we're excited about getting this underway. Weslaco East, who also plays in this stadium, they're taking on Vela. And what happens in that game, well, a lot to determine who is going to be the champ. If Vela wins, they will be the outright district champ. They have already beat the Panthers this year. That is the only blemish on the Panthers' schedule. And here is the kickoff. As the PA announcer says, we're underway. And the ball is going to be returned. And it's going to be a nice return by Jaden Cavazos. He is up at the 50. He is at the 40, 35, 30. He could go all the way. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. So on the opening kickoff, it's Jaden Cavazos, also a top receiver on the team, going all the way for a score. I talked about in the pregame how you never know what this Panthers team can do. They are strong in all aspects of the game, and we just saw how special teams work. Remember last week, it was a 22-yard field goal in the closing seconds by George Martinez that won the game over Weslaco East. But this time, as you can see the replay, you see the speed of Jaden Cavazos as he takes the ball over 90 yards for the touchdown. And so very quickly, we'll see if it can be a 7-0 lead for the Weslaco Panthers. And here is the hold. Cavazos holds it, and Martinez puts it up, and it is good. And of course, Martinez this year, very accurate kicker, has done a great job. I believe he's only missed about 2 extra points this year. So again, when you need him, he is ready to go. And Martinez, unofficially on extra points now, he's actually only missed 1. He's now 41 out of 43. Yes, he's missed 2. Okay, my math is not always the best. Remember, I was an English major. He is 41 out of 43, but on field goals, he has kicked 9 out of 10.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Copyright, Weslaco's digital print photography.
All right, we'll have the starting lineups in just a couple minutes. But again, as we were talking about, 9 out of 10 on field goals, 3 last week, including a 42-yarder, also a 21-yarder, and a 22-yarder. So Martinez is very accurate. Remember, this is just his first year. He was a soccer player and came out for the football team. He is a senior, so this will be his only year of eligibility. And you see him right now getting ready to kick off. But he has made the most of his opportunity in football. He'll kick off from his own 40, and he'll squib kick it, and it's going to be recovered. Let's see. It looks like it is going to be Weslaco getting the ball, and it looks like they will get it inside Cougar territory. And it looks like it's Jesse Perez who got it. He is one of the backup running backs, one of the 2 Jessies as we call them. There is the squib kick, maybe trying to surprise the opponents. And all of a sudden a fight for the ball, and there is Jesse Perez coming up with it. Originally it looked like Brendan Borrego might have a chance to get it. He is one of the wide receivers, so he does have good hands. But nevertheless, it is Weslaco's ball, and they have it 1st and 10, and they are at the 35-yard line. And the ball will be handed off. And there goes Jeremy Coronado. Coronado over the 30. And he squibs around and he moves around. And he is going to get about 8 yards on that play. He just would not come down. And he was moving all over the place. So a good start for the Panthers. First play from scrimmage, making the most of it. We see Coronado. And again, he has been having a good year. Look at his moves on that play. All right. And he's in the open field. And he just won't be brought down. And right now, 2nd and 2. And Coronado again, and this time he is going to be tackled in the backfield. Not much gain, maybe even a little bit of loss. Before that play, it was 2nd and 2. So no gain on that play. And it's going to be 3rd and 2. Ball is down at about the 27-yard line in Cougar territory. Just a minute into the game. And already a lot of action. Nothing boring about this game. Jacob Cavazos at quarterback. He's going to keep it this time. He is going to roll to his right side, and it looks like he is going to fight his way maybe for the first down. If he gets it, it won't be by much, but Cavazos just doesn't give up. Remember, he is both one of the top rushers and passers in the district, and when he gets the ball, he's always dangerous. And he's used many quarterback keepers to get first downs, and he does get the first down. So it is 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of the Cougars. Man in motion, and this time on the jet sweep, it is going to go to Jaden Cavazos, and Cavazos is going to get down to about the 20-yard line, picks up about 5 yards on that play. And we've been talking about Jacob Cavazos passing this year. He has passed 155 times, completed 95 for 1,007 yards. 19 TDs and 1 interception. And then, of course, on that play, once again, was Jaden Cavazos, who returned the kickoff for a touchdown. Meanwhile, rushing the ball, Cavazos 118 for 862 and 10 touchdowns. This time he is going to hand off the ball again to Coronado, and he is going to be met at the center of the line and will not get much on that particular play. And Humberto Martinez, one of the players to meet him. Of course, remember, Coronado's was out for part of the season. He was injured, and now you see him trying to make the most of his opportunities. And by the time it's all over, they're going to say it's going to be 3rd and 5. So we'll see if the Panthers can connect on this one and get a first down. This time a handoff to Hernandez. Jesse Hernandez had some big runs this year, and he is going to have another big run, and he goes 20 yards for the score. So Hernandez, who usually doesn't get until later in the game, gets in early, and he makes the most of his opportunity, and he runs 20 yards for the touchdown. And Jesse becoming a very valuable player this year. And, of course, getting to the playoffs, if there's any injuries, you want to have some backups there. And he is going to take it in all the way for the score. Extra point attempt upcoming. Remember, we told you how accurate Martinez is. And we'll await the extra point attempt in just a moment. Jaden Cavazos is the holder for extra points, and Martinez puts it up, and it is good. So just 3 minutes into the game, 3 minutes and 3 seconds into the game, it is the Panthers ahead of the Cougars very quickly, 14-0. And we were talking about Hernandez. You see him on that particular run. He has 3 touchdowns now, 4 on the season, 3 coming into this game, and he has rushed 32 times for 227 yards, 6 for 20 last week, and I know he's had some long touchdowns, and just off the top of my head, I think one around 80 yards, 60 yards. So when this young man has gotten in there, and usually it was later in games, he has made the most of his opportunity to score. And keep in mind, with the Panthers going to have a letdown after playing the big rivalry game last week against Weslaco East, very doubtful because they could be division champs by the end of this night. And they have come out very quickly after that 23-21 win last week. They are getting right after it, and they'll be getting ready to kick off once again. The Cougars, last week, they were victorious over Academides, 23-21. Now, they've also played Weslaco East, and they were shut out, Edinburg North, 54-0. And the ball is going to come down and picked up at about the 32-yard line, and going nowhere is going to be Jacob Alvarado. You see him coming off the field. So we see the Cougars now coming on the field, and we'll see what they can do. And their quarterback is Aguilar, Max Aguilar. And we'll see if he can lead his team. Again, they did not win any games in their non-district schedule. They have won a couple of district games. We'll talk more about that. Max at quarterback, spread offense, and he is going to hand it off. And not much gain at all, maybe a little loss by Jacob Perales. And he has carried the ball 105 times for 387 yards.
Lineup is brought to you by Copyright, Weslaco's digital print, photography, and design shop.
Jacob Cavazos, Jr.
Danny Knob, Jr.
Devin Denner, Senior.
Jaden Cavazos, Jr. Jay Granados, Jr. Isaac Verrier, Senior.
All right, it'll be 2nd and 11, and this time some good yardage picked up, and going all the way to midfield and getting over midfield is their running back, Moises Maldonado.
Coro Rodriguez, Senior.
Erasmo Garces III, Sophomore.
Fred Salazar, Senior.
Roland Morales, Sophomore.
Giovanni Naveja, Sophomore.
Copyright, copies done right.
Maldonado on that last play picked up over 20 yards, and this time picks up 3 more as he goes around the left side. So he trying to make the most of his opportunities in there. And Jake Espinoza among those in on the tackle. So it is going to be 2nd down and about 7 as the Cougars are in Panthers territory, down around the 44-yard line, that is. Clock is running. We have 7:20 remaining here in the opening quarter, but the Panthers out to an early 14-0 lead. And again, Aguilar brings the team to the line. Slots on each side, one back in the backfield. And he'll hand it off, and not much doing at all as the back is stopped right over at the line of scrimmage. And among those in on the tackle that time is Jesse Ramos. We see the replay, and it's going to be 3rd and 8. Maldonado in on the carry. Also in on the tackle that time, Jathan Gonzalez. So we'll say a loss of 1 on the play. And again, you see Max Aguilar at quarterback. A couple backs in the backfield will hand it off. And this time, maybe a couple yard game at most, but that's going to be all. And that time it was Jose Cruz on the carry. And among those in on the tackle was Samuel Perez. So we'll say a gain of about 2 on the play, and it's going to be 4th down and 6. Ball is at the 42-yard line, and it is going to be a punt right now. Raul de Leon is going to do the punting. Also a very good receiver. Has been injured for several games this year, but he is their key receiver. He has 3 touchdowns in receptions this year, also over 400 yards in reception yardage, and he is going to kick it back, go out of bounds near the 15-yard line. Once again, back there thinking about getting the punt was Jaden Cavazos, but again, out of bounds. And the second offensive series coming up for the Panthers. Remember, the kickoff was returned all the way for a touchdown over 90 yards by Cavazos, Jaden Cavazos, and then another touchdown scored on the second series by the Panthers. And it was a run by Jesse Hernandez of about 20 yards. And here we get back to action once again. And ball will be kept, and it's going to be another good run. And this time up to about the 40-yard line by Jacob Cavazos on the quarterback keeper. So he picks up about 25 yards on that play. Let's watch Cavazos. We told you about a dangerous runner that he is. Almost tackled at the line of scrimmage, and he just goes right up the alley and finally brought down. And again, another run. Actually a pass this time, and it was to Devin Denna. And Denna is going to go down the sidelines all the way for a score. That is a 60-yard touchdown reception. Devin Denna, I believe that's his 5th of the year. So very quickly, Just about 6 minutes into the game, already 3 touchdowns for the Panthers. And again, Denna on the reception. Good long run. Let's watch it. And Denna goes all the way for the score. So a 60-yard run for Denna. That may have been a jet sweep. I was blocked a little bit for a moment by the pillar over here. But again, a 60-yard run. We do know that. And there is the score. So the extra point attempt is good. And very quickly, it is the Panthers over the Cougars, 21-0. There we see Denna. And he is having a nice season, even though, again, some injury problems. He has come through and done a very, very nice job out there. Got a lot of respect for that young man. Very, very dangerous when he's on the field. Last week, I believe he had 5 catches for 61 yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. No, it actually was a pass. All right, I wanted to double check that. Not that it was a jet sweep, it was a reception, and Denna goes the 60 yards for the touchdown. So, again, that'll be his 5th touchdown reception of the season. And again, what an exciting game. It is wet out here tonight. Temperatures in the 50s. There was some swirling wind for a while. Wind maybe blowing as much as 16 miles per hour. About 55 degrees, but people have brought their umbrellas, and considering the weather, a pretty good turnout. Another squib kick picked up once again, and it'll be brought down to about the 40-yard line. And running with that ball, looked like it was Ivan Garza. Roy Trevino makes the tackle. Last week he had a interception, also had a fumble return of about, I forget if it was 40 or 60 yards. I remember it was a long one. And there, a big hit by Trevino for the tackle on special teams. He even runs the ball occasionally, not very often. Aguilara coming up at quarterback. And he is going to hand it off to Parales, and he will get nothing. He is tackled right at the line of scrimmage. So Parales, no gain, and tripped up by Jathan Gonzalez. So it will be 2nd and 10 again. Ball at the 42-yard line of the Cougars. Clock running. We're down to 4:30 remaining here in the opening quarter. We've got trips on the right side, one back in the backfield. And again, Aguilar will hand it off. And this time, it's going to be a loss on the play. And nice job tripping up the runner, Samuel Perez. Also in on the tackle, Jathan Gonzalez. And we see it was not much at all for Jacob Parales. Actually, maybe a loss of 3 or 4. So it's going to be 3rd and 14. Ball back at the 36-yard line. And again, Weslaco doing good in all aspects of the game, doing everything they can to try and secure the district championship. Aguilar also played 6 games last year. And there's a whistle. I don't believe we've had a penalty yet. Couple
foul. Timeout, Edinburg North. First timeout of the first half.
So a timeout by Edinburg North. Aguilar, again, we said he appeared in 6 games last year. Completed 24 passes for 278 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was in 6 games. And this year, he has completed 60 of 135 passes for 751 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Last week in the victory, he completed 16 of 23 passes, 212 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You can see our fans tonight kind of bundling up. A few blankets out there, jackets, hoodies on. Again, a rainy night, but doesn't stop the fans from coming out and cheering their Panthers. Saw members of the band honored tonight before the game. So 3rd and 14, 3:31 remaining here in the opening quarter. Panthers over the Cougars, 21-0. The ball at the 31-yard line. Slots on each side, one back in the backfield. Aguilar will hand it off to that back, and he is going to get down to about the 42-yard line, and that is going to be all. Parales on the run. So that is that. And in on the tackle is Axel Camarena, who has 3 interceptions this year. So a gain of about 6 on the play, but still 4th down and 8. Ball at the 42-yard line of the Cougars. Another punt coming up. And we see their punter coming back in. Royal de Leon. Again, he'd rather be catching the ball. But so far, no pass receptions for him or anybody on the Cougars. Some pressure. Punt is away. And it is going to bounce. And will be a touchback. So 1st down and 10 for the Panthers at their own 25-yard line. Seeing if they can capitalize again. First couple offensive series they've scored. Also return to kickoff for a score. We see Coach Mike Salinas. Remember, only won 3 games last year. Now he's got his team in the playoffs in only his 2nd year. Similar thing he did when he started the program at Vela. Of course, that program has continued to grow. And if they win tonight over Weslaco East, they'll be the district champions. And they gave Weslaco their only loss of the year. Handoff this time, and it is going to be Hernandez again, Jesse Hernandez. And doesn't get much on that play. Good lateral pursuit by Jacob Cavazos. That's the Jacob Cavazos of the Cougars. So Hernandez. You can see the pursuit, and it's going to be a loss on that play of a couple. So 2nd and 12, and this time Cavazos keeps the ball, Jacob Cavazos, and doesn't get much at all on that play. And back there is Juan Rodriguez among those in on the tackle. We'll say maybe no gain, maybe even a loss of 1. So it'll be 3rd down and 13. Ball back in Weslaco territory, back at their 17-yard line. And this time, the ball goes to Jeremy Coronado, and he's going to get some rushing room. And he's up to the 25, spins his way to about the 28-yard line, but he is still going to be about 2 yards short of a 1st down. Got about 8 or 9 on that run. So we'll have to see what Weslaco does. 4th and 2, deep in their own territory. And it looks like they will go for it. And there is the flag before the snap. This will be our first penalty of the game. 1:35 remaining.
Outside. Number 99 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Schultz in a 1st down.
All right. They draw the defense off sides. You have to wonder, were they ever going to really go for it on 4th and 2 back at their own 28-yard line? But whatever. They drew the defense off sides, and they get the 1st down. Got some motion. Cavazos will hand it off this time, and it will be Jeremy Coronado, and Coronado picks up about 4 or 5 on the play. Fast-moving first quarter, lots of rushing. You can see Coronado. We have not seen Peyton Kanab in this game. We hope he's all right. I thought I saw him warming up, but we'll see if we can find out more later. So gain of 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Cavazos again to Coronado. And this time, he is going to be tackled from behind. And a good leg grab by Alejandro Salinas. So it is going to be 3rd and 5. Little or no gain on that play. In the final minute of the first quarter, again, the Panthers ahead, 21-0. Talking things over. Panthers, great season. I don't think anybody expect them to do this well. Currently number 4 in the district. Ball is handed off, and it's going to be a 1st down, and there is Peyton Kanab, and he is going to go on his first attempt all the way to the 38-yard line, and that was a nice run, and he picked up on that one about 28 yards, so if you want to begin your afternoon that way, my friend, we're not going to argue. You see the handoff, you see the run, and he gets away from one tackler, and finally he is brought down. Among those in on the tackle, Eugenio Jaramillo. And that should be the final play of the first quarter. It is, and the Panthers have a 21-0 lead.
Holding, number 61 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Okay, as the penalty came to an end, or the quarter, I should say, came to an end, there was a penalty, so I guess that wipes out that play. We'll see if we have
That's the end of the first quarter.
All right, I thought that was the end of the first quarter. So we'll catch you up to where the ball is in just a moment. Meanwhile, looking at the visitors, Edinburg North, they lost to Mercedes to begin the season, 19-16, to McAllen, 13-9. Rowe beat Edinburg North, 27-6. And then it was Ed Koch Elsa with a 37-7 victory. So they lost all 4 of their non-conference games. Then Vela, the number 1 team in the conference, in the district, opened things up and beat North 56-7. But it was Edinburg North beating Donna North 40-22. Of course, Donna North has not won a game this year. They lost all 10 of their games. And again, when they played the Panthers, they lost 75-3. Edinburg beat Edinburg North 31-14. Weslaco East over Edinburg North 54-0. And then last week it was Edinburg North over Academinis 23-21. Of course, Academini is a good year. They had about 4 or 5 situations in which they shut out teams. We salute them for that. So to begin the second quarter is going to be the Cougars going toward the south end zone, and that is down toward the scoreboard, and they're going to be around midfield after the penalty is where they'll get going. Again, ahead 21-0. Remember, they defeated, as we mentioned, 75-0. They defeated Donna North on that same pace. Don't know if that's where they'll head tonight, but again, you definitely want to see them get a victory if you're a fan of the Panthers. So they have every chance to win the district. We'll try to get a score later from Weslaco East and Vela up in Edinburg, and a screen pass, and it is going to pick up maybe 5 yards. And coming down with the reception that time was Rolando Barones. He had a touchdown a couple games ago. There's Barones. Doesn't get catches that often from the tight end. And you see him finally dragged out of bounds. George Espinoza on the tackle. So it's going to be second down and 16. Remember the holding penalty, and this time a run. And it is Jaden Cavazos. And we'll see where they mark the ball. Alejandro Salinas in on the tackle. And again, some big yardage needed to try to get a first down.
Personal foul, targeting, number 18 in the defense. 15-yard penalty, assessed for the end of the run, automatic first down. And number 18 has been disqualified.
So Ivan Garza out of the game. And a big break for the Panthers. After that holding call, made it very long for them to try to get a first down, get a couple decent runs, and now after the penalty, have the ball down at the 23-yard line of the Cougars. Actually, 24-yard line. And I guess maybe trying to remark the ball, whatever. They stopped action for a moment, but now we're back going. Jaden Cavazos back to pass, now decides to put it under his wing, and the right-hander will take it down to about the 23-yard line. So he's going to pick up 5 or 6 on that play before he goes out of bounds. And it's always fun to watch him play. You never know what he's going to do. We talked about how he's a threat both to run and pass the ball. And finally, he is driven out of bounds by Juan Rodriguez. So they say not much on that play. And there's a fumble, maybe about 1. And he has the ball, and we'll see what he does running it. And again, he is going to get up to about the 30 where he is tackled out of bounds, and it looks like a horse collar tackle. So that will be another first down coming up. And again, some bad tackling by Cougars, illegal tackles, helping Weslaco on this drive. waiting for the official call. 10:50 remaining in the first quarter. Panthers.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Number 17 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
All right. So the ball is going to be moved up to the 16-yard line. 16-yard line of the Cougars. You can see the replay and the horse collar tackle right there. Very obvious. So 1st and 10. And this time, Jeremy Coronado with the ball, and he's going to be down to the 5, and he's going to bull his way into the end zone. Let's make sure it's official here. It is. So on that run, 17 yards for Jeremy Coronado. And Coronado gets another touchdown. And he's a young man you got to really cheer for. Again, injured to begin the season, but since he's got back, very, very valuable player. And we wait the extra point attempt. Again, a 17-yard run by Jeremy Coronado makes the score 27-0. And Martinez puts it up, and it is good. So, with 10:35 remaining here in the first half, Panthers are up 28-0. And you see the Panthers fans, some homemade ponchos there. Weslaco this year, they opened up by beating Nicky Rowe 28-7. Then it was Ed Koch Elsa losing 58-7. Weslaco over PSJA North 45-27. Weslaco down Harlingen South 21-7. Then shut out Edinburg Economides 41-0. After Economides, I believe it allowed only 7 points up to that game in the season. Then it was Robert Avella handing Weslaco their only loss of the season, 17-7. Weslaco had that big win then over Donna North on the road, 75-3. And then Weslaco over Edinburg, 33-7. And last week, the Tanaka Bowl, it was Weslaco over Weslaco East, 23-21. And now in that series, by the way, Weslaco leads 4-3. All right. Martinez kicks it off. It'll go out of the end zone for a touchback. And so, coming up, it's going to be the Cougars having the ball, 1st and 10. We'll have to see how long the starters stay in if this game continues to be a blowout like this. And we're not trying to be disrespectful, but again, Cougars have struggled in this game so far, to say the least. We'll allow the subs come in the second half, try to keep players healthy for the playoffs. You just never know how long coaches will keep a player in. I watched the game last night. I was surprised how long Cam Newton of the Panthers stayed in at quarterback, even though his team was out of it by the 4th quarter. All right, this time Aguilar tries to throw a pass. A little bubble screen set up, not good. Jose Cruz doesn't get the reception over his head. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. 10:26 remaining here in the first half. And the ball at the 25-yard line of the Cougars. They are moving toward the north end zone, away from the scoreboard. You see their gold helmets. Navy and gold are their basic colors. Of course, the basic white of the road uniform. And this time, going to be handed off to Cruz again. And he is going to be met at about the 28-yard line. And it does not get much on that, maybe several yards. Voigt Trevino in on the tackle. You know he knows how to make a hit. He can make an interception, return a fumble for a touchdown. Does it all. And you can see that hit. Good, hard, honest hit. And Trevino has 21 tackles on the season, 18 solo, and 13 assisted. All right. I'll give him 4, 3rd down and 6. And again, Aguilar trying to throw the ball, lofts it out of bounds. And the intended receiver that time was his number 1 receiver, Royal De Leon, but the ball went out of bounds. And back there on defense was Axel Camarena, the guy we told you had a bunch of touchdowns, actually a bunch of interceptions, I should say. And maybe a penalty. Let's wait and see.
Offsides. Number 54 on defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Okay. So that would make it, I believe, 3rd down and 1. And the ball has to go over the 35-yard line, just inches away from a first down. Let's see what the Weslaco defense will do. They have been up to the task most of the time this year. And again, Aguilar still has a few receivers out there. A little more of a power set, though. A couple backs back there, and he's going to hand it off, and it's going to be a first down. And jumping over the defense, getting a couple yards and getting the first down is Moises Maldonado. So Jacob Bailly winds up with the tackle. As you can see, you wonder if this guy does any hurdles, as he hurdles over the offensive and defensive line to get the first down and picks up about 3 or 4. So it's going to be first down and 10 for the Cougars. They're at their own 38-yard line. Seeing if they can at least break the shutout, get some momentum going. That was a word used in Jeopardy as an answer this week, by the way, momentum. And once again, ball is carried to about the 40-yard line by Moises Maldonado, and he's going to pick up about 2. We expect to see a lot of running tonight. That's what the Cougars do. And in on the tackle that time was Alexis Munoz. So the ball's at the 41-yard line, pick up a 3, second down and 7. But one thing, obviously, when you run the ball a lot of time, and Jacob Bailly, I believe, also in on the tackle. When you run the clock, running the ball, you also lessen your chances of getting back into the ball game, but you got to do what you can do. This time, pickup of several on the play. Again, Moises Maldonado. He is the main rusher right now. Alexis Munoz in on the tackle, defensive end, number 94, just a sophomore, so he's got a good career ahead of him. You see him get up. It's going to be third down and 7. All right. Let us see what the young quarterback will do here. Again, third down and 7. Ball over at the 44-yard line. Have to get it to about the 47. And he will pass this time, but he feels pressure, and he is going to be knocked down. Several guys putting on the heat. Jathan Gonzalez finally gets credited with the sack. So we know this defense makes big plays quite often, and let's watch this. Let's enjoy this if you're a Panthers fan. Look at him get in there. And down he goes. A couple guys providing pressure. So it'll be 4th and 7 now. Ball at the 40-yard line. And Leon going to get the ball back about his own 25-yard line where he'll punt it. All fun for the Panther fans that are out here tonight. We see the umbrellas up, and he gets it off. Not sure how he did. It was a bad snap. He had to pick it up off the ground, but he got it off. Gets a decent roll considering everything. And it goes back to the 35-yard line. That is where the Panthers will start first down and 10. So, want to see how this goes this time. We were talking about interceptions. Axel Camarena has 4 interceptions. Jaden Kanab 2. Roy Trevino 2. And he also returned a fumble again. I wasn't sure if it was 40 or 60 yards last week for a touchdown, but it was something nice. And we'll see what the Panthers will do this time. Again, at their own 35-yard line. Scoring at ease tonight. And it's first down and 10. Jacob Cavazos has the ball at the last moment. He'll unload it. Didn't find anybody open. Did the right thing. Threw it away at midfield. So that definitely shows some maturity. Just marveled on how this quarterback there, you see him, has really matured this year. A lot of confidence. I've had the chance to chat with him a couple times. Seen him in post-game interviews with Carlos Robledo and also Mike Gonzalez. Very composed. And that's what you're going to need in the playoffs. That young man right there to do well. And he is going to hand it off, and it is going to be a nice run this time near about the 41-yard line. And that is going to be by Peyton Kanab. So give him about 6 on the play. And you can see Kanab, he's done this all year. Picked up some weight since last year. Only played a few games before he was injured. But made the most of his opportunity then, and definitely looking good this year. So it's going to be 2nd down and 4. For a moment, it looked like the defense was going to jump off sides. And sometimes we see Cavazos waiting a couple moments, get the signals from his coach on what to do. And now he'll reverse his field, and now he will get down to about the 48-yard line of the Cougars. They all thought he was going to go right. He went left, and he picks up about 10 yards on the play. But most importantly, another 1st down for Weslaco as we are midway through the first half. And again, Jaramillo in on the tackle. This time the ball is fumbled in the handoff between Cavazos and Knab. There's going to be maybe no gain on that play, but more importantly, the fumble was recovered, so it doesn't go back to the Cougars at midfield. Maybe a loss of that play, or loss on that play of about 1. And it'll be 2nd down 11. And we see Jaden Cavazos coming back into the ball game. Rolando Barones going out, so 1 extra receiver versus a tight end. And this time some pressure. Screen pass, though, to Peyton Knab. He's at the 40. He's going to be at the 35, the 30, and he's going to go down at about the 25-yard line. And he, on that play, is going to pick up at least 23 yards. So nice play there, some pressure. You get the screen off, and you get some yardage. You can see Jacob Cavazos on the replay going back. He felt the pressure, and he got the pass off. And Peyton Knab did the rest and gets well into the territory of the visitors. Now another pass, this time to Denna, and Denna will fall forward. Looks like he got about another 1st down. So again, the Panthers just keep moving, and we'll give him 10 on that play. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line as we approach 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. And again, a whistle before the snap. There are flags. Remember, at times, the Panthers...
False start, number 61. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Yeah, the official beat me to that. We have seen false starts a problem for the Panthers even last week, but this is only their 1st false start, I believe, this week. Early in the season, one game, I believe they had over 10 false starts. If there's been any problem this season, that has been it. But again, it's been corrected quite a bit. Ball back at the 20. Going to be 1st down and 15. Handoff, and it's going to go this time to Knab, and he'll get about the yardage of the penalty back. Gets down to about the 15-yard line, pick up a 5. So it's going to be 2nd and 10, ball around the 15-yard line. And again, a fast-moving half because of all the running. Gabriel Rivera in on the tackle. We do appreciate everyone coming out tonight, considering the weather, even the fans that have come over from Edinburg North. Again, no chance for them to be in the playoffs. When Donna North lost yesterday to Edinburg, that was the final chance they might have had to at least have some life. Then they would have had to beat this team tonight, but again, no more chances for that. Now Jacob Cavazos goes, and he is going to score the touchdown, 15-yard touchdown run. So Cavazos once again scores with his running ability. Remember, last week he actually caught a pass, a little razzle-dazzle play with Peyton Knab, but this time, watch it. High snap, pulls it down, gets by the defender, jukes out a couple more defenders, and then just up the middle with his speed and talent for the touchdown. So, extra point attempt coming up. And I'll tell you what, Jacob Cavazos, always fun to watch, always dangerous. And add another 15-yard touchdown for him. And you can see the fans with the umbrellas still clapping, still happy, as the Panthers increase their lead. And it's now 28-0. By the way, George Martinez hits the extra point. And we are always happy to see even our superintendent here in the rain. Priscilla Carnalis here, waving to the crowd. She's a good sport getting out there. So the superintendent can make it to the game, you can too, right? No excuse. All right, we are ready for Weslaco to kick it off again. And we see the Cougar mascot talking to the superintendent. You see the flags waving up there. we can see the wind. We said it might be 60 miles per hour. We see the hair blowing on that young lady. And it is a windy night. But when you get a score like this, when you lead like this, who can complain? I can't. Of course, I'm in a weather-protected booth, but I'm a little older, so I deserve it. And it is my birthday tonight, so why would I want to get all wet, right? Anyhow, but that's beside the point. Okay, we are ready. We are getting ready for the kickoff. And this is a fun way. By the way, I could not think of a better way to celebrate my birthday, but be here and see Weslaco get after it. And you might have, if you got to see the pregame show, I even brought out the rally towel the Saints used last week. I went to the Saints game with the Rams. I was working that for a couple national radio networks, and they were giving out towels to the fans. Of course, the Rams came into that game undefeated, only undefeated team in the NFL, but the Saints beat them, and they waved those rally towels. I know Pittsburgh does that a lot, the Steelers fans. Well, I got one of the rally towels and brought it back, and in the pregame show with Carlos Robledo and also Mike Gonzalez, I waved that towel and said, "Go Panthers." And I'm sorry to the Cougars fans, I respect your team, but I kind of am the Panthers announcer here, so if I'm a little bit of a homer on that, I apologize, but I do respect your team. And again, where I actually live, I almost live in Edinburg. I live in McAllen, right near Edinburg, so I go to Edinburg a lot, so I love Edinburg. Nothing personal, but I get to know these guys real well doing these games, and you got to kind of pull for this team. Panthers have really, in my mind, overachieved this year. Great job by Coach Salinas. And there is the kickoff, and it goes into the end zone. And once again, it is going to be 1st and 10 coming up for the Cougars. Of course, a little disappointment for me today talking about the Saints. Des Bryant, they just signed him. The guy had played for the Cowboys, star for years, hadn't played this year at all. They just signed him a couple days ago and injures his Achilles today. He was getting ready to go to Cincinnati tomorrow on a plane to play the Bengals on Sunday. But that is not going to happen. And nevertheless, we wish that young man, hopefully he'll get a chance to recover and still continue his NFL career. All right, Cougars have the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 3:05 remaining here in the first half. And it's been all Panthers. So ball is going to be handed off, and there's going to be nothing doing there. Stop right at the line. And the runner on that play was Jacob Peralez. And you can see him trying to go ahead. And he is brought down right away on that play. And just good defensive effort. Seth Sanchez among those in on the tackle. Sanchez having a very, very good year for the Panthers. No complaints on his play. 36 tackles and 5 sacks. Count them, 5 sacks. He leads the team with that. And getting the ball once again and getting tackled very quickly is Peralez, and he may have fallen ahead for a couple yards, but there was a good ankle tackle. Let's see who it was. And you can see there he goes down, and among those making sure they stay down is Seth Sanchez. So it's going to be 3rd and 8 coming up, down to the final 2 minutes of the first half. 35-0, Panthers lead. And again, we see their quarterback, Max Aguilar. Max Anthony is his full name, but he goes by Max. And has the ball. Peralez has it, and he's going to get nowhere. And he is tackled right away. Real Camarena among those in on the tackle. So both the Camarena brothers having a good year. Axel cornerback, Raul strong safety. And it's going to be 4th and 8. De Leon getting ready to punt, and we'll see, will the Panthers try to pick up more points before the end of the quarter? Clock ticking, approaching 1:15 remaining again here in the first half. So, ball goes back. It's kicked at the 15-yard line, and it is going to go out at about the 38. That's in the territory of the Cougars. So you've got to think maybe the Panthers will try to at least get a field goal before the end of this half. Still 1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining in the half. All right. This has been exciting. Now, as far as the Weslaco East offense, they have rushed for over 2,061 yards this season. Passed for 1,044. That is a total of 3,155. or over 350 yards a game. I'm sure they're on that average now. And it is going to be Jeremy Coronado, and he is going to be dragged down in the backfield. No, he is going to bull ahead, and it looked like he was going to be thrown for a loss, but he might pick up a yard or two. And again, talking about offense, Vela has the top offense in the district, 370 yards per game. So they get about 20 more yards a game on offense than does Weslaco. So it is going to be 2nd and 9, 30 seconds remaining. Handoff on the jet sweep. And this time it is going to be KJ Jones, and he's going to go down. And he is going to get down. We'll see exactly where, but it's going to be a first down. He was at the 38. And he is going to be down near the 22. So pick up of 16 on the play. I believe he's caught a couple touchdown passes and maybe one on special teams this year. I'll have to try to look that up, but he hasn't played that much on offense in recent games, but getting his opportunity now. So it's going to be 1st down and 10. Ball over at the 22-yard line. This time, Coronado gets it, and he is going to be stopped dead in his tracks near the line of scrimmage. And again, 15 seconds remaining. We'll see if there's a timeout taken or they're just going to let the clock run out. And actually, a backup quarterback in there also now, Devin Hanks. So maybe some of the reserves will be coming in now, and that might be how we'll see things go.
Timeout. Let's go high.
So they took it down to 1 second. Going to bring Martinez in to try for the field goal. We talked about that a while back. And Hanks in there. He's thrown for a touchdown this year. He's 5 of 6 passing.
Please reset the game clock to 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
He's 5 of 6 passing for 43 yards and a touchdown. And that went earlier this season to Dante Castillo. That's Castillo, by the way, only touchdown of the season. Last week we saw Martinez hit a 42-yarder, also a 22 and 21-yarder. And one of those 20-yarders came late in the game to give the victory to Weslaco over Weslaco East in the Tanaka Bowl. Martinez this time will be attempting a field goal from about the 29-yard line, so that would be a 39-yarder. It won't be his longest of the season. He definitely has the range, though a wet night, a windy night. We'll see if that factors into what happens here. Jaden Cavazos, the holder. Snap is down. It is up, and it is good. So he will make the score 38-0 as we end the first half. So a 39-yarder. This young man is going to really be missed next year. It's a shame he's only going to be around for 1 season. So a big first half. And we saw Jesse Hernandez take it in from 26 yards out. We saw the big kickoff return of over 90 yards by Jaden Cavazos. Devin Denna gets a pass, goes 60 yards down the near sideline for a score. Jeremy Coronado runs from 17 yards out for a score. Jacob Cavazos, a 15-yard touchdown run. And to end the second half, or first half, I should say, George Martinez with a 38-yard field goal. Lots of scoring. See if the second half is mostly the subs as we get ready for district play. But at halftime, here at Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco, Texas, it is the Weslaco Panthers over the Edinburg North Cougars, 38-0. I'm Scott Harrison. We'll enjoy the bands at halftime, be back with second half action, and this is a KWES production.
YSD, our elementary schools are diving into new and inventive methods of learning that are transforming lives online. Our innovative learning practices have earned our elementary schools numerous TA distinction designations for their academic programs. Now with open ability, WYSD, academics, arts, and athletics. For families everywhere, Weslaco ISD Elementary Schools are the right choice. Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in public scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce, continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we're proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD is the right choice for high school and beyond. Before David Lozano started practicing law, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. He participated in UIL athletics. He was a regional qualifier. Here at college credits through the dual enrollment program. After high school, he attended the University of Texas before graduating from St. Mary's School of Law. Now he helps people in need as an attorney. WYSD is home to some of the most prestigious graduates in the Rio Grande Valley. For David Lozano, Weslaco ISD was the right choice.
Bud Payne out of the shotgun. It's a quarterback bootleg. Oh, breaking a tackle. Breaking another one. Oh, he's in high gear now. He could go all the way.
Talk about an armchair quarterback.
Get $15,000 off MSRP on the new 2018 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab only at Weslaco Chevrolet and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Go 40, go 30, Bud Payne for a touchdown!
Getting the best health care, visit Dr. Hector Amaya at his new location on 8th Street, catty corner from Net Medical Center. Dr. Amaya and his staff are here to serve you with compassionate health care and friendly service. Proudly serving his community as an internal medicine practitioner, Dr. Amaya supports the Panthers and the Wildcats. SJ Hospice Services, here for patients and their families. In your home, we provide the highest quality of care, compassion, and emotional support. We're experts in nursing care and pain management. We are proud to announce SJ Hospice has earned the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. SJ Hospice Services, excellence in end-of-life care and comfort.
The halftime scores on the mixed scoreboard are brought to you by Taqueria El Compadre, located across the street from the high school and now also on South Texas. Swing by after game where you can order delicious lunches and a variety of taquitos, including bistec, turbo, papitas, tripas, and more. Halftime scores brought to you by Taqueria El Compadre.
Weslaco ISD, the right choice. Before Harlan Block raised the flag over Edinburg, he was a student at Weslaco ISD. There he played for the Panthers, won a championship, and learned some of the leadership skills he and some of the students used while serving in the Marines. Weslaco ISD is home to some of the most prominent graduates in the world right now. For 1 year, Harlan Block, Weslaco ISD was the right
We'll be getting ready to start the third quarter, brought to you by A&M Construction. With the score, the Weslaco Panthers up 38-0. If you're looking for the home of your dreams, stop by A&M Construction and visit their showroom at 502 East Expressway 83, right here in Weslaco. A&M Construction, building beautiful homes since 2000. Thank you, A&M Construction, our third quarter sponsor.
They obviously are not going to come out through the Panther, but we're going to put Mike's hot here. Mike's hot, and I'll just have to assume when they start running out, it'll be time to go, so I'm going Mike's hot. And we are getting ready for second half action. I'm Scott Harrison. We're hoping Carlos Robledo will join us in just a bit. And it is District 31-6A. We are in Weslaco, Texas. And this is Bobby Lackey Stadium. It is the Weslaco Panthers, the host team, taking on the Edinburg North Cougars. Panthers entered this game 8-1 overall. 4-1 in district play. If we didn't say this already, this is going to be the final regular season game for both teams. Playoffs start next week. Weslaco definitely in. Edinburg North, because Donna North lost last night, they are done for the season. This will be their final game. They are 2-7 overall, 2-3 in district. And again, Mike Salinas, head coach of the Panthers, second season, 11-7. Remember, he went with only 3 wins last year, so has really turned around this program in his second year. And Damian Gonzalez, he is the head coach of the Cougars. It's his first year. Now, he's also been the baseball coach there, and he was offensive line coach in the past, also offensive coordinator. I believe their athletic director at one time was the head coach, and he coached under him. And again, he's trying to get this program put together. He has 7 returning offensive players, starters that is, 6 on defense, 28 lettermen overall. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, 6 returning starters on offense, 8 on defense, and also 28 returning lettermen. You may remember that it was the Cougars winning the toss. They deferred to the second half. Of course, the opening kickoff returned by Jaden Cavazos, over 90 yards for a touchdown. Score is 38-0. It is the Panthers leading. We'll try to recap some of their scoring. But again, Cavazos with the big return for a touchdown. Also in that first half, we had Jesse Hernandez going about 26 yards on a run for a touchdown. Devin Denna, he caught a pass, 60 yards for a touchdown. Jeremy Coronado, 17-yard touchdown run. Jacob Cavazos, 15-yard touchdown run. And then at the end of the first half, 39-yard field goal by George Martinez. We'll have to see if starters will be in for the second half or the reserves will be in. And the opening kickoff is going to go down the field. It bounces, and it's going to be given to one of the defensive linemen, I believe. And let's see what happens here. He is going up the field, and he is running the ball, and no one is trying to tackle him. I wonder if this is one of these situations. I was not notified of this. Some player that may have come back from a situation, and they've let him score. And again, I don't know exactly what the situation is here. We'll try to get some details if we can. But again, the touchdown was made by the player. Special, I think it's a special situation. And so, again, all the players allowed him to score. And that was Jaden Garza. The ball was kicked off and rolled to one of the players for the Cougars. They hand it to Garza, and then he goes downfield untouched. No one was trying to tackle him or anything. Again, it's one of those special situations. I'm sure if you are a Cougars fan, you know more about it. But again, that was a very honorable thing to be done by both teams, because remember, that breaks off the shutout. That stops the shutout. Stops the shutout for the Panthers. But again, there had to be a special reason for that. And I guess it doesn't actually count, okay? They put the points up on the board briefly, and now they've taken them off. So again, it's one of those situations where they're honoring a particular player and giving him a chance to get a touchdown. It's a very touching moment. I wish I actually knew more about it and I could share more with you, but maybe we'll get more information later on in the broadcast. But again, the touchdown didn't officially count. It went up on the scoreboard for a moment, and now it's been taken off again. All right, now we'll get to the situation here where I'm sure there's going to be some real hitting this time and real efforts to stop and also score. All right, here is the kickoff by Martinez. Goes into the end zone. And again, we'll get ready for starting lineups.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Copyright, Weslaco's digital print, photography, and design shop.
Roy Trevino, senior. Axel Camarena, senior. Jaden Kanab, senior.
Jake Espinosa, senior.
Raúl Camarena, senior.
Jacob Bailly, senior.
So there you have it. Some of the senior lineup. We'll have more in a moment. But it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Max Aguilar, a quarterback for the Cougars. Spread formation, trips on the right side. One back in the backfield. Aguilar will throw to the right side. Ball is tipped and is actually picked up. And Camarena has it, and he is going to go all the way for the touchdown. So that is going to be Axel Camarena. I believe that's his 5th interception, and that is a touchdown. It was tipped for a moment, it looked like, by his brother Raul Camarena, and then Axel takes it all the way in for a score, and that was the first play from scrimmage of the second half. We see the pass, it's tipped up, and again, I believe that was Raul, yes, and then Axel takes it, and he will go the distance for the score. So this has been a big season for him when it comes to interceptions, and is now 44-0. George Martinez will not attempt the extra point. I think it was fumbled there, and he's just going to fall on it. So no extra point, but again, he's had a great season. It looked like maybe Jaden Cavazos had trouble handling the snap. But again, let's talk about Axel Camarena and that big run for a touchdown. He was just in the right place at the right time. Again, the ball was tipped up, and he got it and then just took it in. Brother to brother helping out on that particular series. And so we'll have another kickoff coming up in just a moment. Last we heard, it was Vela leading Weslaco East 7-0. Of course, this is one time, if you're a Panther fan, you do have to cheer for the Wildcats, because if they beat Vela, it's going to be the Panthers. If they win tonight, which they should, they will have a share of the district title. It would be a 3-way share, and then we'd have to figure out everything about playoffs. And also, again, I do the Vipers games, and they're having their first road game of the season. This is a basketball action, G League. It's minor league basketball. They're the affiliate of the Houston Rockets. They won their home opener in the new Brett Ogden Arena. Beautiful place, $68 million arena, and it was last week, a good crowd, and they beat Memphis, but now they're playing Memphis on the road, and the Vipers are trailing at halftime, 68-65. I'm honored to once again, for the 3rd season, be part of the broadcast crew of the Vipers, just like I'm honored to be here doing football for the Weslaco schools for the 2nd season. So now we have the kickoff coming up, and it is going back. It goes in the end zone, and it's going to be taken, and we get to the 10, to the 20, and now at the 25-yard line, and that is going to be it.
J.T. Gonzalez, senior. Seth Sanchez, senior.
Benito Juarez, senior.
Sam Perez, senior.
Jesse Ramos, senior.
Copyright. Copies done right.
Jose Cruz on the return, as we saw the rest of the starting defensive lineup for the Weslaco Panthers. So 1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Some shifts on defense. Ready to go. You got 5 there on the line, and good running play this time by Maldonado, and he's going to be pulled down from behind by Roy Trevino, but not after he makes a big run. There's Trevino. Again, last week, got an interception and returned a fumble for a touchdown. And his counterpart on the Cougars, number 2, has a good run this time. And he is going to be at about the 37-yard line. So pickup of 12 on the play by Maldonado. And it is going to be 1st down and 10. That's Moises Maldonado. It is 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of the Cougars. They are moving toward the north end zone, away from the scoreboard here in the second half. If you're watching, they have the white uniforms, and this time it's going to be handed off, and there's going to be no gain at all. And maybe a couple there. Maybe he bulls his way forward. We have to give credit to the running back for his effort, and I believe that's Jose Cruz. Benito Juarez among those in on the tackle. So when it looked like it was going to be a loss on the play, pickup of about 4, and it is going to be 2nd down and 6. We see the replay. Little stutter step at the line, and again, looked like Trevino was going to get a hand on him, and then several players do, and he just bulls his way ahead, so credit to the running back for some good second effort. Clock running, approaching 9:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Max Aguilar, the quarterback, and he's going to give it to Maldonado once again, and he'll be short of the 1st down, although he'll pick up several yards on the play. So he had a nice run, and among those in on the tackle, Ethan Zamora. We saw Zamora. There he is making the stop. And it's going to be 3rd down and 2. So a pickup of another 4. Back-to-back running plays produce 4 yards each for the Cougars. We have slots on each side. Fake the blitz there for a moment. Look like Charles Juarez might come in. A lot of reserves playing, I believe, here in the second half. And Aguilar looks, and his receiver, his most sure-handed receiver, De Leon, might have been the first attempt to him tonight. He would have had the first down. Goes off his fingertips. Royal De Leon has 3 touchdowns on the season, 411 yards in receptions, and you could see him grimace as the ball went off his fingertips. So it's going to be 4th down and 2. You would have to assume in this situation, if you were the team trailing, that you would go for it, but we'll have to see. But it looks like they are going to be in punt formation. So back at the 30-yard line is the punter, and that is De Leon, I believe. And, of course, he just missed the pass. Let's hope that doesn't affect his punting if you're a fan of the Cougars. Gets it off. It bounces, and it goes down near the 30-yard line. Javen Cavasso's back, and we'll have to see if Hanks comes in at quarterback. He was in for the final series of the first half, Devin Hanks, and he is a junior. Again, appreciate everybody out here tonight in the weather. We already know that Weslaco, Vela, and Weslaco East and Edinburg have all clinched playoff spots. So the teams tonight are not playing for the playoffs. They're playing for seedings and things like that. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. And the ball is going to be handed off. And it's going to be a nice run. First down run to about the 45-yard line. Pickup of about 12 on that play. So a nice run. And that time it was Jesse Hernandez. He had a touchdown in the first half. And he is in there as running back. He is the one back there. And he's with Hanks. Hanks is the quarterback. This time he will not get much at all. And he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Ball near the 45-yard line of the Panthers. And again, one of the goals probably in the second half for the Panthers is get some of the subs some playing time and just try to stay healthy. Don't get any injuries. The faster this game can end probably for the Panthers, although they want to give the fans the money's worth, the better it will be.
The rule on that field is Amber North game possession prior to the play going down. 1st and 10, Amber North.
Okay, so a fumble, a turnover, and the ball will go over to the Cougars. Did not see that in the pile, but again, officials have ruled that. And the ball will be at the 45-yard line, 44 actually in the territory of the Panthers. You see the cheerleaders, some in ponchos, got their jackets on tonight, but still big smiles even with the rain. And this time Peralez will try to run, and he is going to be pursued laterally and brought down. And again, nice tackle on that play. Aaron Borjas. And again, these are some names we don't say all the time. We have a lot of reserves in, but I'll tell you what, the quality of play is still there. Looks like some good depth for the Panthers. A loss of 1 on that play, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11. 5 minutes here into the 3rd quarter. Panthers with a 44-0 lead. Scored on an interception here in the second half by Axel Camarena, returned it about 20 yards for a score. Motion, jet sweep, and the back turns and tries to go up the center of the field, but doesn't get much at all. A good defensive play. And on that play, it was Jose Cruz. You see Cruz brought down. Aaron Garcia in on the stop. A junior defensive tackle. So it's going to be 3rd down and 11 following that play. Clock continues to move. We're approaching the midway point here in the 3rd quarter. Again, it's been all Panthers. Scored on offense, defense, special teams. Again, I talked in the pregame show how they were a complete team, and they're showing it tonight. Now a nice run, and it's going to be good for a 1st down. Looks like Jacob Perales looks like he runs for about 11. Well, actually, he was tripped up, Matthew Calderon, and so he's going to be a little bit short. So he gained about 10 on that play, and the ball is going to be at the 35-yard line of the Panthers, and it's going to be 4th down and 1. And this time, I'm sure they're going to go for it. I don't know exactly the length of their field goal kicker, but when you're down this much, you would figure they will go for it, and they will. Slots on each side. One back in the backfield, Perales. And Perales will get the ball, and he is going to spin. His second effort will get him the first down. Looked like he might be caught in the backfield by Aaron Garcia, but looks like he did get the first down. So nice move. And actually, when he was finally brought down, it was Charles Juarez, about a first down. Picked up a couple on the play. And it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line of the Panthers. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. You see some of the umbrellas, even in Weslaco colors. The fans out there. Some have their varsity letters. I remember when I had my varsity jacket and my letter when I was growing up, real proud of that. I was actually a cross-country runner. So it is going to be 1st and 10. And Perales with the ball. Going to go left tackle and going to pick up a nice gain. Picks up about 4 or 5 on that. Charles Juarez again in on the tackle. And it looks like one of the players is down for the Cougars, but gets up quickly. Perales, the running back, and he will go off field under his own power. Again, officially pick up a 4, 2nd down and 6. And the ball is at the 30-yard line of the Panthers. 4:22 remaining here in the third quarter. So, quarterback calling out the signals. Slot on the right side. Got the ball, looks downfield, and it's knocked away. Intended receiver that time on the play was Jose Cruz. We'll watch the replay. Aaron Borjas deflects it, so nice play there. And again, as I mentioned, we've got some different players in now. And again, well, what can I say? The Panthers have not missed a beat on defense. How's that sound? 3rd down and 6. 4:02 remaining, third quarter. Quarterback out of the gun all night. And this time, it's going to go ahead. Moises Maldonado has it on the handoff. Jonathan Castillo in on the tackle. And the ball will go up a couple maybe to about the 27-yard line. Have to get down near the 24 for the first down. Again, going for it on 4th down. Made it the last time. But one good thing, if you're a Panthers fan, these running plays keep the clock running, as we mentioned. Want to get off the field as healthy as possible, even if it's your reserves. So even though they're moving upfield, they're using a lot of clock. Though this time, Aguilar will throw it, and he gets a pass, and it's going to go for a touchdown. So this is going to go up the field a total of 28 yards, and the receiver, Brendan Borrego. Brendan Borrego has it. And he is going to go 28 yards for the score. So the shutout is broken with 3:08 remaining in the third quarter. And it was a nice pass up the middle, as you can see. Borrego found an opening and goes all the way for the score. Awaiting the extra point attempt. Will they go for 2? We'll have to wait and see.
Timeout. Edinburg North.
All right. And looking at Borrego, on the season, he has 8 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. And last week, had 1 catch for 9 yards and a touchdown. Now, we were talking about Raul de Leon. He is their best receiver, and he had quite a week last week. We talked about how he just missed maybe his first time being targeted tonight, went off his fingertips. On the year, 28 catches for 411 yards and 3 touchdowns. But last week, he had 10 catches against Economides for 150 yards and a touchdown. So what a difference playing this defense and Economides. And the extra point attempt coming up here in just a moment. We see the holder down there is George Espinoza, and the kicker is going to be Jose Zamora, and it's high, and this time Espinoza will try to pass it in the end zone, and there's nobody around, and it falls with no ill effects for the Panthers. So extra point attempt, no good. I don't know if that was planned or just a high snap. It almost looked like it was a broken play, but nevertheless, no damage done to the Cougars, excuse me, to the Panthers. There is the Panther out there, by the way, flexing their muscles just like Weslaco has done tonight in all aspects of the game, as they are in control. And what a fun season this has been. By the way, Espinoza is one of the backup quarterbacks, okay, the main backup quarterback, so maybe they were trying to pass, but this year, according to our statistics, he is 0 for 5 as a passer. So no luck there. Remember last week, Peyton Knab, he's probably done for the night, but remember last week he was 2 for 2 passing through his first 2 passes of the season, and one was a touchdown to Jacob Cavazos. Now Cavazos has scored a lot of touchdowns running and passing, over 20, but this is the first time he was a receiver, and Knab last week was 2 for 2 for 55 yards and a touchdown. But that's actually more passing yards than Devin Hanks has, the actual backup quarterback coming into this game. We mentioned he is 5 of 6 for 43 yards. He does have a touchdown, and that was to Dante Castillo earlier this year. We'll have to see how much passing that the Panthers do the rest of the way. You would have to think they're going to try to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible. We've seen in previous games, especially in second halves, that both Jesse Perez and Jesse Hernandez have the abilities to gain some yardage and take time off the clock. Both very successful as far as that goes, as we await the kickoff coming. And again, we are honored that Carlos Robledo will join us for a few minutes. I know he's been very busy tonight, keeping everything going. Carlos, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate you helping us out on the pregame show and being with us all season long. You've been here for all 10 games of the Weslaco Panthers, and I know you're going to be helping us out throughout the playoffs. And I know you have a very busy schedule as you do radio reports for Fox News or Fox Sports and ESPN Sports, because I heard you on the satellite radio just a couple of weeks ago, and I know you travel up to Houston and you go up to the Louisiana area as well. So I wanted to just come in here and thank you for a great season.
Well, I want to thank you also for the opportunity to do this, but I want to, while we have the opportunity, the kickoff's coming, but you have to be a proud papa tonight. We were watching the festivities before the game, and this is a time when the ball will kick off and they'll get it down, and then again it's going to be down to 32. But give a moment to honor your daughter. I know she's traveled and been in the Macy's Day Parade, and it's kind of interesting. She was the last one announced. I don't know if that was staged that way, but all joking aside, it was great to see her being honored tonight. Talk about it as a dad.
Yeah, she was the last one because she's the major of the Dream
Callista, right?
Team, Callista. And so because she's the last, because she's the major, she had the honor of being recognized last on the list. But be a total of 6 girls will be going up to New York City for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This will be Callista's second time that she has gone, but this time the whole team was invited. But 6 girls are going to be going up there, so that's great. We're proud of her. She is a senior this year, and she'll be moving on, graduating. And it's been fun working for the school district and being able to be a part of her life, but not only her, but all the seniors.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 16. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Weslaco will start in her midfield. And how long has she been involved in this?
Well, she's been a part of the Dreamettes. She's been an officer for her full 4 years of high school. She's been dancing since she was 3 years old. But I was just going to say it's an honor to do this for all our kids at Weslaco ISD. The production that we put on here at KWES, the pregame show, the postgame show, all this is always for them and everything that we do. So it's great to be part of such a great organization.
And Carlos, would you honor me? I normally talk about these people, but would you give credit to some of the people that are part of the broadcast while you're here? I'll do it again later.
Absolutely. We'll try to do it here as quickly as possible, but thank you very much for everyone at the KWES staff. And we have Mario Palacios, who's on instant replay, been doing it all season long. Mike Gonzalez, who's our reporter and also helps out with all the festivities that take place with the Jumbotron. Darlene Gracia, our graphic artist. Joe Leal, who is our audio guy. And then we have Mike Palacios, who's a chief videographer, and he's also our technical director. Don Ramirez, Val Zamora. We also have Vinny Berry, Amadeo Berones, who is, they're all on cameras outside tonight as we watch this play. But they're the ones that are out there having to deal with this cruel weather. And we also have Joe Hernandez, who is also on the camera here tonight helping us as well. Also, Mina Garcia, who is our secretary. Alma Franklin, who is also part of our staff. She is master control operator. We also have our public relations department. Mindy Munoz. Terry Estevanes, who is a secretary, and Samantha Hawley, who is also another graphic artist. Those three are designated to the public relations department. I think I got everybody.
Very good.
And I'd like to just, once again.
And our other crew that doing the broadcast tonight on the road?
Yes, on the road tonight we got Joe and we have Coach Rakovich. They were at that game. Last I heard it was 7-0. Vela was leading at the half. I don't know. We have an update yet.
Timeout, Edinburg North.
All right, and of course.
Foul on the play for a legal substitution.
Jesse Perez, he came in and got a yard on the last play. So these people put this all together. This is just amazing. I mean, I've done high school games on radio for years, 40 years on and off, and we just plugged in like telephones and booths and stuff. And here, I mean, we got 10 or 11 people behind me in a production room with a state-of-the-art equipment. KWES is just fantastic. This is amazing to me, and I'm just so honored to be part of it.
Well, it's the support that we get from our school board, the support we get from our superintendent as well to put on a great show, and we got a fantastic crew. And like I said, all the support for the equipment that we need to get things done and always trying to keep up with the latest in technology. And KWES is, for many, many years, even before I became the director, has won awards across the state for its level of coverage that they have, that we have had over the past few years.
Well, you know what amazes me? A lot of these people, including yourself, you used to be a sports director at a TV station right at Corpus Christi. You worked here in the McAllen
in
area,
Harlingen.
In Harlingen. And a lot of these people have worked in places like Harlingen and McAllen or Houston at major TV stations. That's what really amazes me. They're not just students coming up or interns. These are people with really some credentials.
That's part of the reason why KWES does a fantastic job. I'll let you call this.
Yeah, all right, we have a pass play, and it's going to be a nice one. It's going to go past midfield down to about the 40-yard line. KJ on that play, and he is going to gain about 30 or 40 yards on the reception.
But yeah, we have a professional staff. Everyone is a professional staff. It's not a student-run organization at all. People who have been in the industry and know how to put stories together, can talk the lingo. And that's another reason why Weslaco ISD does such a fantastic job at KWES, because of the caliber of employees that we have.
And after that gain by Jones of about 40, then we have Jesse Perez taking it, and he is going to pick up about 7. Talk about some of the things coming up for KWES.
Well, we'll have the playoffs. We're going to have the playoffs going on. We do hope to have live coverage, because in the playoffs it's a totally different format. We hope to have live coverage on our YouTube channel, which will start next week. That's something we have to work out with the UIL. But you can have live coverage, and then we'll do basketball. We'll have plenty of basketball games, girls, boys, Weslaco East, Weslaco High School, softball coverage, baseball coverage as well. And we'll also have the annual Christmas parade.
Super. By the way, Perez gains of 6 yards on the last 2 plays. It's 1st and 10, and the ball is near the 24-yard line in Cougars territory. And this time another nice gain by Perez up near the 20-yard line. Christmas parade, that's always a big thing in every community.
Downtown Christmas parade, we have the honor of doing that live. We work with the Chamber of Commerce in the city of Weslaco to produce that, and that'll be coming up in a few weeks.
All right, and again, it is going to be 2nd and 2, gain of 8. So Perez on the last 3 runs, 6, 6, and 8. and the ball's at the 19-yard line. And this time it's going to be Hanks, and he'll be dropped for about a 2-yard loss and a nice defensive play. And I know you have other things to do, but before you go, we do want to talk about the fact of that with all this coming together and with everything going well, this has just been a great year for Weslaco football, both Panthers and East.
Yeah, the Panthers were out of the playoffs for the past 2 years. They're in this year, but they're back in a tremendous way. It looks like they're going to finish the season 9-1, and they have an opportunity. You know, they're going to play against Harlingen next week and have an opportunity to beat Harlingen because of the way they've been playing. And then at the next level after that, I mean, this is a team that could go 3 deep.
And the playoffs are very interesting, but there is a good chance next Friday night, depending on what happens, there could be a game here for the Panthers against Harlingen. Other things have to happen, but there's a possibility.
Yeah, there is a good chance that they will be playing here. What we need is if Vela wins, which they're leading right now, Weslaco plays at home.
Okay, and again, I know you have things to do. I know you have to get ready for your post-game show. Talk about your post-game show real quick.
Post-game show, we'll have highlights of this contest, so we'll show as many touchdowns as we can. We'll talk to a few players. We'll talk to head coach Michael Salinas. We'll break it down a little bit. We'll look forward to what's going to take place next week against Harlingen, because we do know they're playing Harlingen. And then we'll, that'll be it. But it'll be a good show. Everyone is always anticipating the post-game show, so we'll have that for everybody.
Of course, I live out of town, but I always enjoy watching the broadcast of this game in Weslaco East on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's seen in a lot of different places. Again, Carlos Robledo, an honor working for you and the staff. And I know you got to get ready for the post-game show, but thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, we are going to begin the fourth quarter. It's going to be a running game. Perez again, and he is going to get down to about the 4-yard line, call it the 3. He bulls his way ahead, and he is going to pick up about 15, 16 yards. So nice job out there, and it's going to be first down and goal to go. Perez, the workhorse on this particular drive. We talked about Hernandez and Perez have gotten a lot of work this season, and they are making the most of it. And this time it's going to be handed off again, and it's going to be a touchdown. Yes. I wanted to wait and make sure that it was official. So Jesse Perez takes it in from about 3 yards out, and it will increase the lead. The other Jesse already has scored tonight, but Perez in for the touchdown. And we'll watch. There he goes up the middle. Good blocking as always by the line. And Perez gets it in and makes it now 50-6. Again, just the beginning of the fourth quarter. 11:30 remaining. And Hernandez will prepare to make the extra point. And it goes up. And it is good. So the score is now 51-3. And I want to mention last week it was a pleasure working with Joe Aguilar and Coach Roy Rakovich. They are the regular Weslaco East broadcasters, but since it was Weslaco playing Weslaco East, we joined forces and broadcast together. And those gentlemen are very knowledgeable, and of course they are broadcasting right now at Vela, and you'll be able to catch that game on KWES later here in the week. Perez, by the way, that was his second touchdown of the season. Coming into the game, 20 rushes for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Last week did not run the ball at all. And Devin Hanks, we talked about him being a quarterback. Now he can run the ball. He has 6 carries this year for 33 yards. And we talked about Roy Trevino once in a while. We talked about all the things he's been able to do on defense. He has even rushed the ball this year 3 times for 11 yards. And Devin Denna, when he had that 60-yard catch for a touchdown, I had to make sure it was not a jet sweep, that is. Here in the press box, there is a pillar. I was blocked a little bit. Wasn't sure what he did, but the reason I was thinking it might have been a jet sweep instead of a reception was he has run the ball this year. Even Denna has 1 carry for 17 yards. All right, Martinez kicking off at his own 40, and the ball will go back, and it is going to be brought up to the 30-yard line. Not much of a run there, but it just moved ahead. And now Edinburg will take over. And it looked like it was Cesar Zuniga on the run. There's a pretty cheerleader being honored with her sash and her flowers. All smiles, balloons and all. Special night for a lot of these young people. Final regular season home game for the seniors. Although, as we talked to Carlos, good chance there may be another game here next week. Max Anthony Aguilara, using his full name, back at quarterback still. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for the Cougars. And this time, Parles has it, and he'll get up near the 40 before he's knocked down. So it'd be close to a first down. And he looks like he is shaken up on the play. Looked like he was shaken up a bit earlier, too. Gets the ball, and Jacob goes ahead. Finally, he is brought down from behind by Jonathan Castillo, a strong safety and senior. And they're going to look at the young man. It is going to be second down and short. Picked up about 9 yards on the play, but they are definitely looking at his leg. As far as Edinburg North this year, on offense, they have rushed for 1,281 yards and have 789 yards passing for a total of 2,070. They are averaging on offense 230 a game. That's compared to the Panthers we talked about earlier. They are averaging 350 yards a game on offense, so they are averaging 120 yards more a game on offense than the Cougars. Cougars on defense, they have given up 1,769 yards rushing, 940 passing for a total of 2,709. That's an average of 333.6 per game. Meanwhile, and we'll talk more about this in a moment, the defense for Weslaco only giving up about 200 yards a game. So they are giving up an average of about 133 more yards on defense a game. We're talking about the Cougars over Weslaco. And Weslaco on defense this year, they've given up 1,209 yards rushing. Meanwhile, 588 passing for a total of 1,797. And again, that is 199.7 per game. Tops in the district is Weslaco East, giving up 178 yards per game. But keep in mind, prior to the game with Weslaco, they were only giving up 155 per game. So after that game with Weslaco, their average per game on defense, giving up yards, went up 23 yards per game, just as the result of what the Panthers did last week. So that shows what kind of rivalry it is. They are trying to help the young man off the field right now, and he is walking off with assistance. A little bit of a limp there. Let's hope he's all right. Again, second down and 1. And Jacob, one of their top rushers. And we'll talk more about him in a moment, too. So the ball is near the 40-yard line of the Panthers. And Maldonado has it. He's going to get a first down and a lot more. He'll get into Panthers territory down near the 48-yard line. Pickup of 12 on that play. Nice run. And we're talking about Parles. He reminds the coaching staff of Matt Whitesides, who rushed for 2,860 yards in 23 games between 2013 and 2015. And he scored about 29 touchdowns during that time. So if you're a fan of the Cougars, you may remember Whitesides, one of the great rushers in their history. It is first down and 10 now for the Cougars at the 47-yard line. And this time, not much doing for Maldonado. Maybe even drop for a bit of a loss. And in on that tackle that time, it's going to be 68. Adrian Fuentes, a defensive tackle. I remember a couple weeks ago when he got some playing time, we seemed to hear his name a lot. So when he gets in there, he will make the most of his opportunities. And right now, Joe Leal has been nice enough to tell me from the control room that Vela is leading Weslaco East 14-0. So East, we know they're good on defense, and they're proving that tonight against Vela. But again, they've struggled on offense this year, and getting points on the board might be difficult. All right, pass is incomplete against to Leon, the guy who had 10 catches for 150 yards last week. I think he's been targeted twice. Once went off his fingertips, and that one uncatchable. Let's see for sure. It's going to be third down and 9. And there's the pass. And again, a little bit high. We won't blame him on that one for not getting it. So it's going to be, again, third down and 9. Ball at the 46-yard line of Weslaco. Maldonado takes the ball, and he is going to get a first down, it looks like. Had to get 9. Looks like he got just about that. Jonathan Castillo in on the tackle. We'll see the marking. You see him run. Castillo dragging him down. And it looks like we're going to have a measurement coming up. Or is it not going to be a first down? We'll have to see. They bring in the chains. Again, although a rainy night, temperatures in the 50s, winds up to 16 miles per hour, swirling rain. People have stayed here, even with the big score in the favor of Weslaco, even fans for Edinburg North. So there's the marking, and you can see it's going to be a bit short, about the length of a football short. 4th and 1 coming up. Again, the Panthers leading the Cougars 51-6. Edinburg North, if they would have made the playoffs, they would have needed Donna North to win last night. Of course, that was going to be a tall order. Donna North 0-9 coming into that game. And they lost Edinburg High 40-3. So that squashed any playoff chance. Maldonado, by the way, gets a first down near the 31-yard line. So he picks up about 10 yards on that play. And again, another first down. We'll watch it. Just a little draw play, and Jonathan Castillo making a lot of tackles. Not necessarily a good thing. That means one of your defensive backs are doing that, so you're getting past the line and having to be tackled in the backfield, which can result in big yardage and first downs, as we're seeing. First down and 10. Ball is at the Panthers' 30-yard line. This time Maldonado again, and he again is going to get a first down and more, and he is going to get down near the 10-yard line. He picks up about 20 on that play. And keep in mind, there's a lot of reserves in there, but you know Coach Salinas is not going to use that as an excuse for big yardage, chunks of real estate just being picked up right now on offense, as the battle of the line is being won by the Edinburg North Cougars. So the ball will be at the 10-yard line, just inside it, so it's going to be 1st and goal to go. No more chance to get first downs for North. They'll have to score a touchdown. And they're going to officially say it's the 9. So 1st and goal to go from the 9-yard line. Approaching 8 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. And this time, once again, Maldonado's going to get it and picks up decent yardage, picks up about 4 to the 5-yard line. And again, we can just see how the surge goes. Benito Juarez in on the tackle. 2nd down and goal to go. And Juarez, 1 sack this year, 16 tackles coming into this game. All right. Still have wideouts in there. So possibly a pass. Leon lined up on the right side, but misdirection. And this time, only a couple yards picked up by Maldonado. Still 3rd and goal to go. And Maldonado, he's rushed the ball coming into this game 22 times for 81 yards. Last week, 6 rushes for 29 yards. Benito Juarez among those in on the tackle. So it's going to be 3rd and goal to go from the 3-yard line. Clock continues to run. Approaching 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. This time a pass by Aguilar. Tries to get to De Leon. And it looks like it was intercepted. Looks like it was intercepted. We'll have to wait and see. Adam Echeverria. Echeverria with it. Adam Echeverria with the interception. So nice play. Free safety junior. You can see him stepping in front of Leon, who has just struggled tonight. One went off his fingertips. One was too high, and that time the defender got in front of him. And this is a guy, again, we want to mention, at 10 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown last week. He missed several games during the district schedule due to injuries, or he would even be doing better than this. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Panthers. And this time, no gain. It's Jesse Hernandez maybe working this series. And so it's going to be 2nd and 10. We expect to see a lot of rushing here. Obviously, the main goal, we've said it for the whole half, is basically try to get the clock run out. Panthers leading 51-6. Game has not been in doubt for a long time. Motion, and ball goes over the head of the quarterback, but whistle.
Ball start. Number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Nelitan Rodriguez in motion, wide receiver. He has just 1 catch this year. He's a sophomore, so he's seeing some playing time. 1 catch for 10 yards in an earlier game. So that's going to move the ball back to the 15-yard line. Going to make it 2nd down and 15. And Rodriguez in motion once again. And on the jet sweep, he's going to keep it. And he's going to get to the 20. And he'll be knocked down right there. Ball goes out of bounds, but already no chance for any kind of recovery. Jason Duarte in on the tackle. So back to about the original line of scrimmage. Pickup of about 5 on the play. Going to be 3rd down and 10. You can see the ball squirt out, but went to the sidelines of the Cougars. And a Cougar is down right now on the far side of the field. Can't see who it is. So that'll give the teams a little bit of a break here. Trying to catch up on things. Coming into this week, Vela, number 1 in the district, as they've been just about all year, maybe all year. And Weslaco, because of their winning the Tanaco Bowl, they're up to number 5 in the latest Rio Grande Valley rankings. Maybe seeing if they can move up some more this week. Hoping to do the best they can. And again, just a great year, an exciting year. And we really have enjoyed it. And again, I mentioned today was my birthday, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend it here than seeing a big victory by the Panthers. And I know I'm not going to tell my age. It's one of those years, though, that ends in a 9, so it's probably not as bad as one that ends in a 0. But I will give you a hint. The year I was born, the Los Angeles Dodgers had already moved from Brooklyn, but they were still playing in the Coliseum. Okay, Chavez Ravine had not been open yet, and they still were playing in the Coliseum, where now the Rams are going to play for several years before their new stadium was built. Also, the Cardinals still played in Chicago. They had 2 more months in Chicago before they moved to St. Louis. They were kind of a lame duck team. And they actually played in the old Comiskey Park. If you're familiar with that, that was a baseball park that was in Chicago from about 1910 to 1990. But football was actually played there for a while. So the Cardinals were still there. And Dwight Eisenhower, he happened to be the president at the time. And you know, I know we recently had some elections here, on Tuesday, and when he was running for president, his little slogan was, "I like Ike." That's the buttons people wore back then. So I'm dating myself, but that's as far as I'll go to give you my age, all right? If you can figure it out from there, it's fine. We finally do have a number on the player that was down, and it's George Espinoza, and he plays on defense, and I believe, as we mentioned earlier, he's also a backup quarterback, and so, again, a valuable multi-purpose player on the team. Let's hope he's all right. He's being assisted off. Getting off very slowly, was on the ground for a couple minutes, but again, even though it's the end of the year, you hate to see someone go into the off-season, because this will be the last game for Edinburg North. You hate to see players go into the off-season with injuries. Another running attempt for Hernandez. We've seen some big runs from him, and this is another one as he goes down to about the 48-yard line, and he has gained about 32 yards on that play. This is an exciting player, and I'm going to have to go back into my notes maybe before the playoffs and check all these big runs he had, but I think he's had one in the 60s for a touchdown. I think one for maybe 81 yards. So anytime Jesse Hernandez comes in, it's exciting. And again, a young player. He is just a sophomore, just like Jesse Perez, who scored the touchdown on the last drive. And this time, Hankins is going to keep the ball. We told you he's run it several times. And this time, he'll get down near the 45-yard line. So he's going to pick up about 8 or 9 on the play. If you didn't hear me earlier talking about him, we mentioned that coming into the game, he had done a nice job running. He had 6 catches for 33 yards. So that's an average of over 5 yards a carry. And again, rushed for over 5 yards that time, actually 9, making it 2nd down and 1. This time over to Hernandez, and he's going to bull his way for the first down near the 43-yard line. And he is brought down by Jacob Cavazos. Yes, there's a Jacob Cavazos on Edinburg North, too, and he wears number 15. So you can see it was first down, it was, 1 yard to go for a touchdown. I'm not sure exactly what down it was, but he picked up about 3 or 4 on the play. That's the main thing. Hankins in there, just trying to use this clock. Under 5 minutes remaining.
Ball start, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now, we have seen some false starts again tonight, and that's been a problem. But let me say that most of the false starts, except for maybe one that I can remember, have come when the second team has been in there. So that's a little bit different. I know maybe Coach Salinas would disagree with me, but again, rather see him with the second team just getting used to playing with each other than the first team. All right, there is Hernandez. And we talked about his big runs, and there's another one. And he breaks one tackle. He's down to the 30. He'll get down near the 21-yard line. So, again, another big run on that gain. Another big gain. Gains about 27. And had a gain for about 32. So has almost 50 yards on 2 runs in this drive alone. Look at his motion. Look at his balance. Look at his athleticism. I mean, this man's got the package. All right, this time we'll run to his right side. We'll see how he does there after going left and making some big runs. And no problem. He kind of lost balance, or he might have gone into the end zone. He finally falls down at about the 2-yard line, picked up about 15, but he was off balance near the end of that run, or he might have gone all the way. Let's watch the replay, all right? Gets going, and then all of a sudden, player kind of stalls him, and then he just loses balance, and then he just dives to the 2-yard line. It would have been very close to a touchdown had he not lost his balance. And this time Hankins keeps it, and he's going to take it 3 yards for the score. So we've seen that from Jacob Cavazos a lot, rushing in for touchdowns. Now the sophomore shows, hey, I can do it too, Devin Hanks. And he gets a 3-yard touchdown run, fakes the handoff, and will take it in. So again, it's 57-6 with 3:38 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And we've had 3 touchdowns, 1 defensively in the second half for the Panthers. And looks like the extra point attempt, no good. Fight for the ball right now. So 57-6 is the score. But as we mentioned, 3 touchdowns in the second half so far for the Panthers. The only one came also for the visitors. Camarena, of course, had the interception that he brought back for a touchdown. And then Perez ran for a touchdown. And Devin Hanks just ran 3 yards for a score. And we do have a final now. Jolial, we appreciate him back in the control room giving us this information. He's been keeping up with it as long as he can. And now he says there is a final from Edinburg, and it is Robert Vela shutting out Weslaco East 21-0. So what that means is that Vela is going to be the district champ of 31-6A, the first district champ since realignment, since the Edinburgh schools joined the Weslaco schools in the same district. And that also means, I believe, there'll be a good chance, and we can't officially know, and I'm sure that Carlos Robledo and Mike Gonzalez will talk more about this in the post-game show, but a good chance that maybe next week, possibly on Friday, it's going to be the Cardinals from Harlingen coming here to play Weslaco. Used to be in the same district. This would be their first meeting of the year. You may remember that Weslaco defeated Harlingen South in a game that was here, but they have not played Harlingen. So, kickoff coming from George Martinez, and it goes up, bounces around the 18-yard line, and a tackle is going to be made, and a nice one by Salvador Navarro, strong safety senior. Jose Cruz on the return. And you see the ball bounce, picked up, and there comes Navarro. Bam! And he has him down. And also up there, Matthew Calderon, senior cornerback, was ready to help out if necessary. So, first down and 10. Ball at the 16-yard line. 3:30 remaining. A couple of guys banged up for Edinburg North here in the second half. Let's hope the Panthers come out of here unscathed. Cruz with the ball, and he is going to pick up about 4 or 5. Second down coming up.
Number 25 on the carry.
But the best thing we see, the clock running. And the tackle, Abraham Rodriguez. He's listed as offensive guard, but also playing defense. Abraham Rodriguez. So it's going to be second down and 5. Call it a gain of 5 on the play. We're now under 3 minutes remaining. Remember, this is not the highest scoring game of the year for the Panthers. They had 75 against Donna North on the road when they beat them 75-3. And Calderon Maldonado, Yes, Maldonado is on the carry, Moises Maldonado. And he is going to get a little bit of yardage, we'll have to see. And I believe Samuel Perez in on the tackle, double check. But again, it's going to be 3rd down and 3. So let's see if the Panthers, and yes, it was Perez on the tackle, senior defensive tackle. And we'll see if they can stop him here on 3rd and 2 and maybe get the ball and run the rest of this out. And yes, Maldonado is going to be stopped short of the 1st down. Perez among those in on the tackle. Again, Elijah Estevanis also in on the tackle. And Maldonado in on the run. No gain, 4th down and 2. Under 2 minutes remaining, clock running here in the 4th quarter. So let's see what happens. We're going to get a
timeout. Edinburg North. Final timeout, the 2nd half.
All right, so they call their final timeout. And a great season all the way around. The Weslaco Panthers will go to 9-1, 5-1 in district. Coach Salinas in his 2nd season, his record will improve to 12-7. Damien Gonzalez, his 1st year as head coach of the Edinburg North Cougars. They'll wind up 2-8 and also 2-4 in district. And we are just excited. I remember Weslaco only won 3 games last year, did not make the playoffs. Coach Salinas' new year implemented a more passing-oriented offense. And a lot of changes. Takes time for everybody to buy in, but everybody definitely is bought in now. There's no doubt about that. Fans, players, everybody. And that's the result of some good coaching, and my hat's off to Coach Salinas and all his assistants for what they've achieved this year. So a punt is going to be upcoming. De Leon will get it off at his own 10-yard line, and the ball will bounce, go out of bounds at near the 40. And looking at the scoring, of course, about a 90-yard return on the opening kickoff by Jaden Cavazos for a score. And after that, if the team never looked back. Jesse Hernandez, about a 26-yard touchdown run. And we had Devin Dena with a 60-yard reception for a touchdown. We had Jeremy Coronado on a 17-yard touchdown run. We had Jacob Cavazos on a 15-yard touchdown run. So Cavazos threw for a touchdown and passed for a touchdown in this game. And then we had a 39-yard field goal by George Martinez. And that ended the 1st half with the Panthers leading 38-0. And now we're going to go into the victory formation. And in the 2nd half, Axel Camarena returned an interception for a touchdown. There was a score, a pass reception for a touchdown by Edinburg North. Then Jesse Perez, I believe, a 1-yard touchdown run. And Devin Hanks, a 3-yard touchdown run. And there were some extra point attempts missed, but overall, it turned out to be a 57-6 victory for the Panthers over the Cougars, as we're in the final minute of the game. And the team is in the victory formation. Again, I appreciate the staff here. We ran them down, all the names of Carlos Robledo a while back, for giving me the opportunity to work with them, the KWES staff, and very proud to be with them. Again, looking forward to working some playoff games. And of course, this night's not over quite yet. Carlos Robledo and Mike Gonzalez will have a post-game show, and Coach Salinas will be on, and some key players. So we look forward to that coming up in just a few moments. And again, this has been an exciting night, a rainy night, but a fun night, and couldn't have had a better birthday than to see a game like this and see the way that Weslaco can really dominate on offense, defense, and special teams. So we're counting down the final few seconds. And again, as the PA announcer said, time ticking away. And now the horn sounds, and the game is officially over. And it is Weslaco Panthers 57, the Edinburg North Cougars 6. We've enjoyed this tonight, and we'll get ready now for the post-game show, and the playoffs are next week. And again, I can't tell you for sure what's going to happen. They'll talk more in the post-game show. But if I had to make a prediction, I have a feeling it might be Harlingen here at Bobby Lackey Stadium next Friday night. But, of course, we'll get much more information. And you'll be able to watch this on KWES if you were listening to it right now. And also, obviously, that Weslaco East game where they lost to Vela tonight, 21-0. Both will be rebroadcast on KWES. So, again, we appreciate the regular season. Look forward to the playoffs. And on a rainy night, we say so long from Bobby Lackey Stadium in Weslaco, Texas. One more time, the Weslaco Panthers 57 and the Cougars of Edinburg North 6. I'm Scott Harrison, and this has been a KWES production.